waiting to cut short. We started my podcast.
Podcast is on. Okay, all right. I think we can start the hangouts. Thanks everyone for joining us today for Freshhunt on CutShort. I am Nikunj, a co-founder here. I would like to just open up the event, tell you a bit about how the event works and why we are doing this event, and then we're gonna have some guest speakers who are going to share their thoughts, their tips, advice with you as you step into your professional career and you start your professional career and start your first job. Our aim is just to help you in whatever way we can. So let me just start the introduction to the event. So this is CutShort. Most of you are coming to CutShort for the first time, but we have been around for 2 years almost, and with the new brand which is CutShort, we have been live for last 1 year. We have more than 50,000 users already, and we largely focus on the experienced people. This is the first time we are actually addressing the problems of the freshers market, where bright people like you need a platform to get in touch with the promising companies. So this is the first event we are doing. So welcome to CutShort. Our aim is to make you more successful by giving this platform to you, not only for jobs, but we also have communities and other features which you can use to get better as a professional. Why we are doing this event, right? So we have been, as I said, we have been focusing on the experienced talent pool. This is the first time we are doing this for freshers because this is June. We know a lot of people, a lot of freshers who were turning up on CutShort recently were freshers, and they really need a platform to get in touch with the companies. And you know what, companies do want to hire freshers. Everyone I talked to while talking about this event, they wanted to hire freshers. It's just that it becomes impossible for them to look at all the incoming resumes and find the freshers who are really promising. And that's where we figured that such an event where we can bring both sides together in a single day and give them a platform to connect with each other should help. And this is why you are seeing this Freshhunt event today on CutShort. So what to expect? So we have 1,500 plus bright freshers today who have joined. They have aspirations for a career in tech, marketing, design, HR, business analysis, and so on. So it's really a mixed bag with many people are from tech marketing domains. And all of them have been given challenge problems to solve and to stand out. Uh, Based on the performance on these challenge problems, we are going to sort them in a order so that people who are hiring in their companies, they can easily get in touch and spot people who have done really well in these case studies or the programming challenges. So for example, this is a programming challenge we gave to the people. Similarly, this was the design challenge. We asked designers to create a better power bill. So the goals of that new power bill design were to improve cost efficiency, make the bill more green, encourage people to save more power, and also at the same time be more functionally be better in terms of realizing what is the right time to pay the bill, how much is the bill amount, and all of those details. So that was a design challenge. For marketers, we gave them a challenge of marketing ugly fruits. So it's pretty interesting that a lot of produce which gets produced in our farms doesn't ever make it to the markets. And we wanted to see the creativity of marketers. We asked them to create a Facebook group, a Facebook page where they could create their own brand, own messaging, own positioning, own pricing, and then make a case for people to buy these ugly foods. So it's going to be pretty interesting. So people who have not cracked or not submitted their solutions, they can still do so as early as possible, because employers are going to start looking, and then the earlier you are, the better it will be. But at the same time, don't submit if it's not complete. So get it to the good quality where you are not embarrassed of showing it to the employers. Get it right and then submit it here. So we have more than 100 plus companies hiring today. Most of them are startups, pretty interesting startups. You may not have heard about them earlier, but each of them is doing pretty interesting work. And it would be a great opportunity for you to connect with as many of them as possible today. These are some of the names that we just pulled together in the morning. There might have many more who are joining and will be available for you to talk to. So how to connect? On your event screen, you should be seeing the categories for people, for the event participants. You can click on any tag, and then you can see browse all the companies or all the freshers who are looking for jobs, and then you can start messaging them. The way this works, if when you message someone, we notify them, and if they agree and they're interested, then we make an email introduction. And you also see them on the CutShort website. So there's a connected tab on the left. All the people you are introduced to will be available for you to converse later in that tab. We're gonna have 3 fresh talks from people who have been there in the industry. So Sahil is a co-founder at Dineout. I'm also going to share my own journey and share my success tips with you. And then Sanmeet is a special guest today, a 2016 pass out, but has already worked in different roles at 20 plus companies. So we kind of got him here to give you a fresh perspective, because both Sahil and Nikul and myself are pretty old in that way, but Sanmeet is pretty relatively fresh, and he's just 2016 batch pass out. So he would be sharing his own tips about how he has been doing in the industry for last 1 year and what his goals and what his journey has been. And with that, we'll start the event. So you can already reach out to companies. You can already do that. In the meantime, we're going to have the talks here. This is my team who has put together this event for you. Our effort has been to add as much of value as possible to you. But of course, there might have been some issues, and there certainly have been issues around programming tests not opening, some errors and issues. You might face some issues today as well, but we are here to help. We are here to fix them, and our effort and aim is only one, which is to make you successful. With that, I will open it up for the first talk. So I'm going to have Sanmeet, share his learning and his insights as a fresher of 2016 batch. So Sanmeet, can you hear me?
Sure. I can hear you.
Okay. All right. So you can start now.
Sure. So I think I'm audible, and the screen is as well shared, so you can see the deck as well.
Yes. Yes, it is visible.
So hi guys, I actually graduated last year from Rohini University. So the Delhi people might be knowing about IB University much. So I graduated last year, did my computer science engineering. So I was inclined towards marketing, but I did computer science engineering as my primary role. But I was involved in different roles with different companies. So you can see screen that I work with OLX. I was the cluster manager as my intern, like managing 20 odd interns for the marketing role. And then I went on to work with Procter and Gamble. So Procter and Gamble was a big I was brand advocate for the whole firm and marketing the whole stuff, selling the stuff to the offline suppliers, getting it to them on board.
Hey Sandeep.
Yes.
Your voice is a bit breaking up. I'm not sure if it's the internet or you are too far away from the mic.
Okay. Now is it audible?
Yeah, this is better.
Okay. So yes, I was on Procter and Gamble. So Procter and Gamble, I worked with Procter and Gamble as a brand advocate. So selling supply, selling particularly products to the offline suppliers, and then working with OLX. So OLX was actually like a cluster managing role. So next one was AskMe.com. So the AskMe.com was actually I got into a internship challenge role. So internship challenge role was like a I worked, actually it was a marketing internship challenge, national marketing internship challenge. I played onto it, and then I got into the fourth position. So through that position, I got into the internship of asking.com. So it was a full product internship, product marketing internship. So I worked with IIMs and IIT students. So I then even worked with few of the startups as well, which were Lexington. The Lexington was a product development role. So they were building on a new app which was like engaging social media with the youth of the India. So it was a e-ink application which was actually later on sold to aspiring minds. So now I'm working with Urban Lab. So leading the technology team from last 2 months, and prior to that I was working with the business team of Urban Lab. So this is what actually I am, and now I'm working with Urban Club. So now today I just wanted to share, because many of the students who are actually participating in the Freshhunt are freshers. So they'll be looking for startups, and they'll be looking for companies who can prosper their career, students can also build their career, and they can also be fruitful to the companies. So my first one would be that people have already seen on the TEDx videos, be it any other videos or maybe motivational stuff on either TV series or maybe the online series. Like it is always said that follow a passion. So passion, I certainly feel that it's a myth. So you can bust it up. So passion is actually not a plan; it's a feeling. So feelings do change. So I personally feel that feelings primarily will change you, and will, as per you grow and as per the company grows and your career skills, the feelings will do change. So, but the only thing is that I certainly feel that passion cannot really be discovered early part of the career. Even the best of the computer science engineers move into management roles. You'll see product management role, or maybe going to the managerial role, or maybe sales, or maybe business kind of roles later on into the careers. So passion is actually
Your voice is again. Yes, I'm sorry to interrupt, but your voice again, is kind of coming from too far. So I think you may have to come a bit close to the mic.
Just a second. Just a second.
It was great in the start, but then I think somewhere down the line it kind of went bad again.
I'll just connect my headphones.
Yeah, this is so much better, but the way you just said that.
Is it audible now, Nikon?
Yeah, this is much better.
Yes. So I was actually on the passion part of it. So passion was it's actually what I was actually mentioning that later on in the career, passion usually drives off what you are actually starting off into your career through graduation. So passion is usually driver of likings and followings. So it is expected to change, and it will change, what I personally feel. So saying that, one needs to explore things out of likings, and hence the passion will actually encourage, and then it will come up and later on be a part of your career. So I'll take my examples. During the later part of your career, I was passionate to go into the marketing role. So since I had niche knowledge about the perspective actually changed what I got after my first full-time job. So now I'm loving working in the technology team, which was actually not my plan. So I later on started exploring things, did internships. So I also will motivate you. I'll also guide you that you shouldn't do internships or for volunteering internships. Even shadowing a senior member of the other team will also help you. So I know much of the audience is actually soon graduating out, but I would like to mention that keenly mention it up, that even if it is maybe a unpaid internship or maybe an unpaid employment, you should go for it, because it'll certainly help you up in exploring things. So that now you have got a good, you got into the Freshhunt, and now you are exploring things, and you've already got maybe you're been employed with Swiggy, or maybe Zomato has actually hired you up today on Freshhunt. So what you'll do next? So you've got a role, you've got an internship or maybe full-time opportunity. What next? So my point is, just give your best. Give your best, because this is actually a cliche kind of things, but yes, these few things will help you certainly in later point of your career. I know things rule out, and even things break once you go out of your moving out from college and directly to a full first workplace. I think it is a bit hesitant. I was also hesitant working the first time to to a new marketplace and new maybe a startup company which is actually food tech industry, or maybe service marketplace, or maybe in e-commerce. So it'll certainly help you out. But hustle, I'll only say hustle things around you. Even if you don't work like your work, try giving your best. Soon an opportunity would knock your door. Yes, I'll mention it up that soon opportunity will knock your door, and I have seen it up. I know it's too early to say, but yes, age is just a number. You really need to keep your enthusiasm alive. Because why? Because people do phase out after giving out into a full-time role, take new things into a new perspective, and rather you'll surely see the change. Why I'm mentioning I'm learning the different perspective of the problem, because I have seen that many of the software engineers or maybe marketing professionals do not learn into the different perspective of the problem. So like if a particular software engineer is actually coding into the Android, maybe into iOS, so he only works prior and moving into that particular domain. But I certainly feel that you should learn on the business perspective of that particular thing. Why? Because you will be having a full grown knowledge of the product you are building, what actually the product is doing to the market, and how customers are perceiving through that product. Since many of the companies recruiting today at Freshhunt has technology and product-based companies, so they will be looking for a candidate who is a full grown into, maybe he has a business mind perspective and he also has a technology kind of thing. Like technology will be a prime factor for they taking you into their company, but business will also business kind of thing will also help you. Same goes for marketing professionals. So even if you are like taking out reports for CAC or maybe cost per request, what you are actually giving up to the clients and what the business value of your product is, you should learn into what actually the APIs do, which actually the events are being called into the product. So because that will help you once you engage with your directly with your clients, you can help up solve their tech problems as well. Why a particular thing is not working, why the campaign was not working, because the tech problem was actually coming up. So this, I know this can be monotonous for business kind of people that going onto the tech and learning that particular kind of thing, APIs and coding and all stuff. But yes, it really helps up. Now, next point, what I actually last point would be that do give your best, because it's already been done. So you're giving it with your best and you are motivating and you're directly having a talk with the client and you are working with the company. So next part will be build your career. So now how you can build your career is that like learn, unlearn and lean on. So you might have heard about this is kind of cliche kind of thing that you are learning things and why you are unlearning it. So my point will be that building and breaking, go for a company, go for startup companies, like as Nikon mentioned that many of the companies are startup. So Swiggy and Zomato have already hired many of the interns and maybe full-time employees from Freshhunt as well. So going into a company which is actually building and breaking stuff really fast, and you will also learn, unlearn and relearn. So how you can learn is that you will be making, like you will directly be working with a company and you'll be learning the stuff. So now what you need to unlearn is that what you have already learned in your past graduation or your previous company. So that'll actually help you up, and then relearning what actually the new company is telling you. So that'll really help you up. So the last point will be, once you have built your career and you're seeing it's going really good, now track up how you can scale it up. So how you can take it up. Like what I actually particularly did that I was keenly interested in marketing roles, but I didn't get a marketing role and I opted for a business kind of role. So I was working in the business team of the Urban Club, selling the stuff directly to the clients and to the partners of Urban Club. Then I made internship with the technology team. So now I'm actually looking into going into the product team. Why? Because the ideation part comes up. So this is how actually I'm thinking of scaling. So you should also think how you can scale your career. Like the company you're working is scaling their company. So scaling the organization, it should be primarily parallel to how you're working and how the company is helping you to grow. So this scale is really important. So two things, build and scale. This is what actually I'll say for you. So go, all the best. So I'll be reachable to many of the students. You can directly reach out to me. So I'll just mention it up. So this is what my Twitter ID is. So you can directly reach out to me or you can directly Google it up. So you Google it up my name and you'll get the links of LinkedIn or maybe Facebook as well. So so would the questions be, Nikunj, at the end?
Yeah, hi Sumit. Yes, the questions, we will take the questions on the website and we can take all the questions together in the end.
Sure.
And you are already in on the website, on the Freshhunt website as well?
Yes, I'm already in. Yes.
So what we'll do is we'll just make sure you are marked as a speaker, and then they can Sanmeet reply to questions there.
Yes, they can.
So Sanmeet, you can reply to the questions from the audience directly, and then if there are any important ones, then we can include in our talk section as well.
Sure.
Okay, so thanks Sanmeet for that talk. Pretty relevant. 2016 fresher doing pretty interesting work. On his own unique journey in his professional career. So that was the motive of getting him here. Moving on to the next talk is from Sahil, who is a co-founder at Dineout. Hey Sahil, you're there?
Hey, hi guys, I'm here. I'll
Okay,
just
yeah.
so I'll just start. I'll just share my screens with you guys. Just give me a moment.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. One second. To share my screen.
एक मिनट बोल रहा हूँ
So in the meantime, while Sahil is setting up the presentation, all the participants, there's a chat on the right which you are using. That chat is just for broadcast messages. If you want to have any question, if you want to ask any questions to the speakers, or if you want to chat up with the fellow participants, for that you use that. But for your job search or for recruiting, there are those tags that you should see, and use those tags to browse people and message them. That's how you'll be able to track all the incoming responses, and you'll be able to introduce and get an introduction and get contact details of each other. So don't use the
you
chat
guys can
window
see my
for.
screen?
Yes.
Cool. I'll just start the slide. So let me do that. Yeah. So cool. You guys can see this, right?
But it is not in full screen mode. Not yet.
It's in full. It's not in full screen mode.
No.
I've done it. Oh, you can see the full screen. I've just.
No, so just click on that. The whole application, the PowerPoint is in full screen, but the presentation itself is not in full screen.
Oh, why should?
So just click on that. In your screen on the lower left, there is that presentation icon.
On Google Hangouts?
No, now I cannot see anything.
Is it now? Now is it in full screen?
It might be, but I'm not able to see it. So basically, I think, have you stopped Hangouts, sharing by Hangouts? So
No,
you just need. So the earlier you were doing it right. I was able to see the PowerPoint the application, but the application was fine. But it was, yeah. Now I can see the application, but I cannot see the site itself. Yeah, click on that. Yeah, now it's good.
It's fine.
Yeah, this is better. It's perfect.
Cool. So hi guys. So should I start off, Nikunj?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So hi guys. Sahil this side. I'm co-founder at Dineout. We are the largest table reservation platform today in India. I'm not here to talk about Dineout. What I want to start to talk about is in 2012, and how my journey has been and what have been my learnings, and what do I think that as a fresher, what you should be thinking about when you looking out for a job, right? So the question that most people have is that where do you think should you work at, right? And I've spoken to a lot of people, a lot of freshers over the years, and the most common answers that I hear are as follows. I'll just share them with you guys. um, is one is obviously you need a trustworthy leadership, right? Because if you're starting your career, you want to work with people who are really leaders and where you can kind of trust them to do the right thing. That's a basic hygiene factor, right? That's one important thing. uh, Post that, salary is obviously one thing which is very important, and people are looking for that when they're starting out their careers. That's again another hygiene factor. The other is you're looking for stability, so you're looking for a stable future, right? And lastly, you're also looking at career advancement, that how you can kind of grow your career, or what's your paths, and so on and so forth. So what I feel is that although these are all good answers and important to have, and these are basic hygiene factors, the fact is that most companies will offer you this today, right? I mean, when you go out there, all big companies, all wherever you're looking to get a job, mostly this will be something will you, which is something which you will get, right? But but something which you should actually look at is something which I think is something a little more than that. So what I really think is, why should what my real learning is that why should you really it's wrong, it's not why, it's where should you really work at. Based on my understanding, right, what I wanted to share with you guys is what you should really look for, rather than just a basic salary, a good salary, career advancement. There are a few traits which are more important than that you should be looking for. And I think the first thing and the most important thing is you should work at a place where you think you can be relevant in today's world, right? So it is changing so fast. So since I started out till today, the world has changed so fast, from desktop to mobile to AI to whatever it is, to big data, right? I mean, there are so many things which are happening out there today. You need to be in a place where you can actually figure out new ways to learn, have that flexibility, that freedom, where you can invest in yourself, which gives you that culture where you can actually learn something, right? I mean, whether you're coming out of an engineering college or economics degree, whatever it is, right? The real learning always happens at the workplace, right? There are some theories that you will learn, but what you actually apply at your first job is something that will stay with you for life, and that's the best opportunity to learn, in fact, because later on in your career you will be looking at ways of unlearning, right? I mean, because if in your initial days you've not had the right base, you'll have to unlearn and relearn, and that's what we are doing today, because we didn't have this sort of knowledge when we started out with our first jobs, right? And didn't have that insight into the future. So this is something I think which is really important. The second thing is prove others wrong. Like, I mean, a place where you can actually think that you can prove others wrong, do something which people think is not possible, right? I mean, that gives you a separate high. That's something which you cannot kind of experience unless you're there and doing something. So for example, good examples could be a Book My Show in India. They built the first movie ticket engine in India, and they are the only player out there. And if you go back 20 years or 15 years, you would go to a theater and buy tickets, and who would have thought that everything will just move online and people can do it online, right? Uh, and the same goes even for me today, right? What drives me is the fact that who does table reservations in India, or how do you do real-time reservations in India? It's not possible. What drives you is that you can actually prove people wrong and build something which is significant enough, which people have not thought of, right? So that's one important thing to keep in mind. Create an impact, right? Like, and leave a legacy, right? That's something which nobody thinks of when they start off their careers. And I think that's the most important. If you can have that sort of thought process, I think you will excel in whatever function you join in, whether it's marketing, whether it's sales, whether it is product, whether it is engineering, right? I mean, today as a fresher, you just join in and just go through the drill and do nothing additional. Your thought process will be very 9 to 6 p.m. sort of a culture, right? And you cannot. So all the initial things that I spoke about, right? Career advancement, great salaries, these are byproducts of being good, great, right? And not just good. If you just imagine that, just based on your degree, you will get a great salary and good career advancement, that's not true. If you can think like this, right, where you can get that confidence of the leadership that, you're here to create an impact, and they recognize that the good salaries, the career growth, and, stable future will all happen, right? I mean, today as a founder, I know in my team who are those people who are here and believe in that, sort of vision for the company. And those are the people who will move the fastest up, whether it's a corporate ladder, whether it is career growth, whether it is good salary, right? I mean, all of those things will happen for them. But this is the thought process that they have, right? And that's very important to have that thing at the back of your mind, that I might be getting a lower salary at the next place, but if I'm creating an impact here, in the future, it's going to have a big impact on my career, on my learning, on my future. So imagine people who were a part of the Flipkart team, right? They built the first largest e-commerce platform in India. Okay, Amazon has come in, they're giving them big competition, but the feeling that you built that first in India gives you great sense of satisfaction, right? Same for a Book My Show, same for a Make My Trip, right? These are platforms which have been built in India and are today the largest in India. So the people who worked on these products initially, whether in marketing, sales, product, or engineering, would have that sense of satisfaction that, hey, I was a part of this team who built this. Globally also, you will see similar comparators, right? Whether it's an Uber, an Amazon, an Airbnb, or a Google or an Apple, right? It's a different sort of feeling that you get, and it just carries on with you throughout your career, and that's how you think. And the final part is, the last thing which is very important is, being happy, right? I mean, being happy at where you are is extremely important, because otherwise you'll be just going through the drills, right? And you will not enjoy what you're doing and blame XYZ, whether it's your boss, whether it's your colleagues, and you blame external factors to your performance, which is not right. However, if you're happy, you will be driven to get the right results, learn new things, and creating that impact. So I think a lot of people have that thing that, hey, after 2 years in this job, I would get a 30% raise or a 50% or a 100% raise once I switch my job. But that's not the right way to think about it, right? If you're enjoying the journey, if you're a part of the journey, you will get the right results at the end of it. For example, I mean, if I just compare it to my journey as a founder, right? And I keep on thinking that, hey, I just keep on investing into the business. When is it that I really make it big? And once I do, I just realize that it's not that important. What I've done over the past 2 years, that journey that I've gone through, that was much more enjoyable than the end goal that I've actually hit upon. At that point, you think, okay, this was just a byproduct of what I did over the last 2 years. And if I was cribbing over a 2-year period about it and then achieved a goal, it would be even worse, right? So it's important to enjoy that journey, whether you're a founder, whether you started up something, or you're in a job. I think those are really important things to keep in mind wherever you're working. One thing which I wanted to touch upon is that what you should do in your first job. And I mean, I've interacted with a lot of freshers, and there is clearly, you can identify which ones are the brighter ones, which are the ones who are really here to learn. And I think that is something which everyone should endeavor to do in their first job. You must try everything. And when I say everything, I mean every function in your company, wherever you're joining, right? You should not shy away from understanding what marketing does, to what sales does, to what operations does, to what product does, to what engineering does. Now, whenever I have seen people join in as product managers or engineers, and they're very focused on their functions, and they don't try and learn what other functions are doing, and they shy away from that, and that this is not my job. I think that's the worst mistake that you can do in your first job, because that is an opportunity where there is nothing for you to lose, right? I mean, no one is judging you. Even if you make a few mistakes, no one is judging you, and you get a 6 month to a year's window where you can actually learn a lot across functions and round up your skill set. And you should not shy away from that. I think that's very important. Be curious about stuff, learn what's being done by the sales team, the marketing team, the ops team. How can you, because see, if even if you're in, let's say, a product or an engineering role, if you get an understanding of the overall business, there are various ways in which even product and tech can contribute to those functions. Similarly, if you're joining even as a sales or a marketing person, it's important to understand your product or tech. I see so many sales people or marketing people, they have zilch understanding of what the product actually does or what's the vision of the company, and they will never be successful in their functions, whether it is sales or marketing also. If you're going out and selling a product, if you don't know it inside out, I'm not saying you need to learn the coding piece of it, but what does it do? What are the benefits? I mean, you need to go deep into it. It cannot be shallow understanding. Until and unless you get that, you will not be a good salesperson as well. So to be good at what you do, you need to know everything about the company. And as freshers, there's another, people are timid, they're not, open about asking questions. My thought is you should ask the right questions always. Don't be afraid of asking the questions, because only if you ask those questions will you be able to learn. People are more than happy to share stuff with, people, but if you don't ask the right questions, nobody is going to come out to you and spoon feed you the learnings that they've got, right? If you joined in as a fresher, if you ask people around you in different functions, it could be the leadership team, it could be anyone, right? You need to ask those right questions to learn, and don't commit that mistake of being shy about it, because those are the people who learn the most. They will excel in the near future once they ask the right questions. And the other very important part is have depth in whatever you do, right? I mean, try and understand the end goal of whatever activity that you're trying to do. Don't be spoon-fed into, just doing the actual task which might be assigned to you. Understand why that task has been assigned. What is the purpose of this task? How important it is? What is it leading to, right? It is very important that from day one you think through the entire activity. It's not like, so I see a lot of freshers coming in and they just, if there are 4 steps to be done in order to actually achieve the real goal, they would stop at step 1 and step 2 and not realize that there are 2 more steps which should have been thought for and done in order to achieve the goal. So my point is, don't be like a follower. Try and understand the real goals, and there's no harm in asking for help, right? People are there to help you. They understand you are new at this, you are freshers. You will get the help if you ask for it, right? But be sure that you know what the goals are. Ask them those questions, ensure you understand them, and work towards it, and get the right help in order to achieve those goals, because that is what will get appreciated, right? Those are the things which will set you apart from other folks or other freshers or even seasoned people inside the company. If you show that trait, I've seen a lot of freshers who come in, they're curious, they're hungry, and they know more than people who've been in the company for the last 2 years, right? That's surprising, but it happens, right? And that's what sets them apart, and that's what will propel them to newer heights in this job, next job, wherever they go. I can say that for sure, right? And even if that guy is at a lower salary or is not from that great a college, all of that will not matter. If you have that sort of attitude and that sort of thought process, it will set you apart from 99% of the people out there, right? And I would say that getting this and this opportunity, like your first job is the opportunity where you can do all of this. You can experiment, understand, learn, and this will guide you basically for your future, right? That is this something that you're enjoying? If you do all of this, right, you will know, are you in the right job or not? Is this something you should pursue for the future? Is this the industry you want to be in? Will this be something that you will enjoy? Because what happens is that if you don't do all of this in your first job, you will get set into a monotony and you will just keep switching jobs and not realize that where do you really want to be, right? It will not help you understand what your real passion is. I heard the in the previous presentation that follow your passion. Unless and until you are curious and you try everything and understand everything, you will not know what your passion is. When I went to my first job, I didn't know what my passion is, right? It came to me, right? I was 2-3 years after working, I realized what I really want to do, because I saw everything, I understood everything, right? And in some cases I didn't, and that was a failure on my part. But when I look back, I see that had I done that, I would have, achieved my understood my passion even faster, right? If had I done that better. So I think these are important things to keep in mind when you're looking for your first job, when you enter your first job. These are things that you must keep in mind, and not get swayed by the normal thought process of just getting a good salary and finishing up your work from 9 to 6 and going home, not thinking about it. That's the worst thing that you can do in your first job, I think. Yeah, that's something which I had to share with all of you. Nikunj?
First year, what
Hello? Hello?
I think Nikunj has muted his Hangout.
Oh, okay. Just a minute. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, Nikunj.
Can you see my screen?
Yep. No.
You can, right? You, Sahil and Sanmeet, both of you can see my screen.
Yes, Nikunj.
Yeah, so yeah, I was thanking you. I mean, my mic was on mute. So I was thanking Sahil that great insights there, a lot of practical tips there. It's kind of amazing that with over a period of time, all people converge on almost the same set of principles to guide their careers. So almost the same. If I had made that slide or that deck, I would have probably kept this, most of the things uh, identical to what Sahil just said. To the point which Sahil mentioned in the end, when you were looking at your first job, don't optimize for short-term things. So this is a career. You're building your career. Career is like a marathon. When you run a marathon, you train. You build things for long run. You don't optimize for hygiene issues or side effects of a success like your salary, your job location, the role that you are getting. It's just that you want to learn and you want to give you want to learn as much as possible so you can give it your best shot. So
Yep.
that's what
Absolutely.
right. So great. Now since Sahil inspired me and Sandeep had a great session himself, I just wanted to reflect on my journey a bit. uh, Today morning I was just thinking of whether to do this talk or not, and then I said, okay, fine, let me just put down about my own journey. I'm pretty old than Sahil. I think Sahil was 2007, 8, or 9 pass out. I'm a 2003 batch as a fresher. So I just wanted to reflect on my journey. Pretty interesting, pretty different from the typical journeys you have seen. So I just wanted to take a minute there and go through my journey. So looking back, what I learned about success and life in general. This is me. This is as a fresh graduate in 2003. This picture was taken in Bangalore. So as an engineering student from in 2000 to 2003, I was a pretty unsatisfied student, right? So why I was unsatisfied? So
Just
I was,
Nikunj, just
yeah.
breaking you up. Yeah, I think your deck is not visible.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
not. Okay, thanks. Should have been visible.
Yes, now it is.
Oh, you can see now.
Yes, now it is.
Okay, so this is a look back, of a personal look back, quite candid account of my journey. This is me in 2003. I was an unsatisfied student as an engineering student. I think most engineering students are unsatisfied by definition. So I also wanted to get into IITs, but I screwed up in maths and you know kind of scored below the cutoff there, so I could not get in. I joined an engineering college, but I didn't stop preparing for IIT exams. Uh, In my engineering exams, I did like a few courses. So some of the courses really caught my attention and they made me interested. But I never took them seriously because I was looking for something else. So I was at the time I started enjoying the course. I was looking for other avenues like what I will do in future. So people started taking preparing for GRE. Some people started taking for CAT, and then I also joined a crowd and started working on these things. So trust me, I'm an engineer, and most engineers are confused. Then I got my first job. Along my first job, I wrote CAT. Uh, and this is before my job. I got a few IM calls, a few other good colleges, MBA schools. I could not, get past the interviews. And then I joined Infosys. It was not a very common thing or not a a minority achievement in those days. Joining Infosys was a big thing even then, right? But when I joined Infosys, I again wanted to get into IAMS because that was what I wanted to do. And the way I was preparing in college for exams of CAT and GRE and all of that stuff. Similarly, when I joined Infosys, I was also trying to prepare for the CAT exam. And of course, the way I did not take the engineering courses or programs seriously. Similarly, I hardly worked in my first year at Infosys. And soon I wrote CAT. In 2004, I did pretty well there. I came back home, called my girlfriend, said, "Hey, I've really done very well, and I think I should be getting all the 6 calls." And she said, "Okay, fine, you scored well, that's great." And she heard the story, but I said, "Okay, you know what? On the TV, they're saying that exam got leaked, and they are going to cancel the exam." And this was after taking a break from my work life. I had gone on a long leave. My manager was unhappy and everything else, so the exam got cancelled. Great. Uh, 3 months later, more leaves, more disappointment from my manager. I took the retest, and this time I did get calls, but you know what? The same story. I flunked. Interviews didn't convert. My dreams were shattered. I was really downcast. And at the same time, as I said, my work life was screwed up as well because I was not working in my office. The managers knew that I'm preparing for something else, and my heart is not there in my work. So practically, I was looking at what to do now. And then I realized that this way of doing things is not going to work. And I realized like two or three things. First of all, I was getting scared by all these disappointments in my life. I was getting scared that I'm not getting anywhere. Second, I was living in future. I was when I was doing my engineering. At that time, I was preparing for CAT and GRE. I did not take my courses seriously, although I did like some of them. Similarly, at Infosys, I was preparing for other exams and not taking my work seriously. So I was practically cultivating a habit of living in future. And finally, this is the most important. I was letting others control my life. So I was looking at my peers. I was looking at what they are doing, and I was trying to do or get better, get better than them in those things. I really, I mean, at this point, if I look back, did I was I really passionate about cracking CAT? Was I really passionate about becoming manager? I'm not sure. Was really passionate about studying abroad? I'm not sure, but I was just doing those things because I was following the herd mentality, which is so common in so many of students that we see today. And then that's the time when I realized that I just need to reinvent things, and that's the time when I just let myself go. I changed a few things. The first thing was my job. I joined a startup. Uh, Now I'm not advocating everyone to join a startup, but I joined a startup because I wanted to focus on my work. At Infosys, I was just becoming an employee number, and I wanted to do more. I wanted to have my own identity. I wanted to make an impact. And then I began exploring myself at the startup. I started living my life. I started doing what I wanted to do, and I realized my strengths. So at a startup, I got like Sahil mentioned, I got exposure of multiple domains, not only tech but also marketing, also product management, also system integration, and figuring out what other people do and how why a startup is trying to build what they are building and what problem it will solve. It kind of really liberated my thinking, right? And then I kind of started bouncing back in my career. Established As soon after working in 3 startups after Infosys, I was pretty much established as a go-to professional that people would turn to and they would ask for help. I never had to look for jobs. People would just pull me in from different jobs and they say, "Hey, Nikunj, we need you in this role." And then and that success as a professional means money, respect, your trust of your colleagues, foreign trips, and all of that. The side effects of success, as Sahil just mentioned. I also learned how the real world works. I realized how the business works during my stint at these 3 startups. And then I realized that, where I want to go in. And this is again coming back to what the point where Sandeep and Sahil just mentioned, that your passion is not, in vacuum. It is not a point. It is a journey. And when I did all these things, I realized what I want to do in my career. With all this experience, I was better equipped. I was better positioned to plan what I want to do in my life next. And that's for the first time when I gave up my well-cushioned, well-paying job to do an MBA from XYZ in Shepard. And then I came back from the school and I got into product management and marketing successfully, which was a big thing. So this was like 2009, 2010, 11, which at that point product management was not so common in India. So I got into that role, and then I've really worked hard on the product that we were shipping. Eventually, the product got acquired after 1.5 years of hard work. The product was acquired by a Nasdaq listed company in the US. And then I started CutShort in 2015 with this great team that I have today. Grew it to 50,000 users. You know, Around 2,500 companies are on the platform. So not great, not that we have nailed it, but we are like getting there. And more importantly, if you look at the whole bouncing back journey, what is really satisfying, and Sahil just mentioned that people at Amazon, people at Make My Trip, they will feel satisfied about something. One thing I'm pretty much satisfied about doing, about my career is that I've never faced a dull day in my professional life. There has never been a Monday blue day. There has never been a day when I said, okay, why the hell I'm doing what I'm doing. I've enjoyed every day at work. And I think that is what eventually you need to really aim for. So summing up, the 3 lessons that I wanted to share and the lessons that I learned based on my own journey: take control, right? Know yourself, don't follow the herd, take control of your life. If you look at my journey, initially in my first or 2 years of my professional career, I was letting others take control. So I was going to interviews. The question to be asked, why I flung in those interviews, right? When I went to those interviews, I was not sure what the questions they will ask me. I was not sure about myself. I was not sure about who I am. And once I got once I got scared that I don't know about myself, and I started following advice of other people, and I let other people take control of my destiny. So I just hoped and prayed that the people in the interview will somehow select me. And I was never confident about myself. So this is the first lesson, that if you want to be successful, you have to take control of your life. Nobody is going to tell you on what you should do. You know yourself better. You need to decide what you want to do, and you need to be confident that you can crack it, or you can be successful in whatever your role of choosing is. Second lesson is that live in present. So as you can see, I was always planning for the future. The problem with planning for the future is that you forget to learn in the present. You forget you mess up things in your present. I messed up things at my first job. Those colleagues, those managers. I'm not sure if I meet them today, what they'll think of me. I'm not sure. In my college, could I have done something better? Could I have picked up some more skills? So I forgot to live in the present and forgot to improve myself. Keep learning, and that is something which Sahil just mentioned, and Sandeep also kind of touched upon the same fact that as a fresher, as a professional in 2017, you just cannot be static. You cannot be just saying that this is what I want to do for 60, 70 or 40, 50 years of my professional life. You need to keep learning, because the technology will change, the world around you will change. What will not change is what you have learned from this world. And if you keep on learning, if you keep on picking up new skills, you will always stay relevant. You will never fear job loss. You will never fear that what happens if your company shuts down tomorrow. You'll always be able to survive, and you will always be able to thrive. And then balance present with future goals. It's great to have future goals. It's great that you're working on your future, but don't compromise your present. divide your time so that your future goal takes, like, say, 25-30% of your time, but some 70% of your time is spent on enjoying the present and improving from it and learning. And finally, third, enjoy yourself. Uh, and Sahil just mentioned that as a last point in his slide deck, which is really true, that your work life is a part of your life. Uh, Eventually, when you're going to spend more than 50% of your time in the office, you really want to enjoy what you do. You need to explore yourself. You need to figure out what you love doing. It's not about a rule or recipe that somebody has given to you and then you have to follow that. You need to cook your own recipe, right? So you need to change roles if you think, this is not what I'm enjoying, or I'm curious about how marketing works. I'm curious about how design works. I'm curious about how to talk to clients. Just go and get that thing. Try to get it, done, and love what you do. Uh, Most of the times, like what Sahil mentioned, the kind of team he has, the kind of team we have at CutShort, there are no limits. When you change roles, you are passionate about something. If they are good leaders in your company, they will give you the chance to, try out that thing. Sanmeet is an example of that person. He joined Urban Club in a different role, and then his leadership, his team believed in him, and that's why he got to try out different roles, because once people know that you can do X, they know that you can also perhaps do Y, and they will give you a chance. It's just that you have to ask, you have to know, you have to look around, and grow in all dimensions. You cannot be static. Eventually, summing up, this was my journey. Yours will be different. You might be seeing more failures, you might be seeing less failures. Everybody sees failures. Some of you will handle those failures, some of them will not. But you need to keep learning. You need to get better. You need to understand how to not get bogged down by things that are not in your control, and you need to keep on moving forward. And remember, success is personal. There is no universal definition of success. You cannot judge or measure success by how much salary you are making today. You cannot judge your success by what kind of, how many people you're managing, or do you have are you visiting your foreign offices, or do you have like a well-paying, well-cushioned job, or a corner office and all of that. Those are not definitions of success. What is success is you have to define for yourself. You need to be happy. You need to know. You need to enjoy your work, and whatever keeps you happy, even if it pays less, or even if it is not the conventional definition of success, it's fine. It is, and that's a good thing that you are defining your own success. And eventually, I really think that recently the movie that came out, All Is Well, right? So that's a great phrase. Uh, it's a great phase when you are facing downtime or facing failures. Just think about it. Just think about, because I think eventually you are controlled by your brain, and you just have to tell your brain that what, this is fine. This is a failure. This is not the end of my life, and I have the skills. I have the determination of coming out of it, and I will come out of it. Nobody else can control that. The people can throw failures at you, but they cannot stop you from becoming successful. So that's it. That's all I had. A quick chat. More if you want to talk about some things, or you have any like career issues, you want to have some advice. Sahil will be available, I'm sure. I will get his contact details for you if he's in whatever his preferred way of communication. Sandeep also will be available, I'm assuming, and I'm available at Twitter, so you can just tweet me. Hey Sahil, are you saying something?
Hello. Yeah, so you guys can contact me at sahil@dineout.co.in. Like, anyone who wants to write to me, talk to me, you can write to me at sahil, sahil@dineout.co.in.
Okay, that's great to hear. Thanks for that. I'm sure there are a lot of people who are like, most people are, they have some idea about where they want to go, but I've talked to a lot of freshers as well who are not sure where they want to go. I'm sure they would need more, help, and they will need more advice. So go ahead and, shoot email to Sahil or catch Sanmeet. Sanmeet, what would be your preferred way of contact?
No, you can directly reach out to me on maybe on my email ID. It is sanmeetsethi@urbanclub.com, or maybe on Twitter or any mode of like contact.
Okay.
Directly reach out to me.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for being here today. Definitely, it should be useful for the participants in the event today. The event is live, so people can, start reaching out to each other. just be sure, and just one point I would like to highlight, which is that this event is a start. So if you are not finding success today, it is just fine, all is well. We will be, if you are cracking those problems, that will give us more inspiration and more confidence of for really putting you in touch with more companies. So get it right. And if you need any support and help, we are here. The event will be over today, but the platform, the main CutShort platform, will still be open, and there will be still so many companies out there looking for bright people to join them. So you can always use that medium after the event today as well. Okay, so I think this is a great session, 3 p.m. So this is almost the first time we are actually closing the event on time, which is great. So thanks Sahil, thanks Sanmeet for
Thank you,
being on time, and then
Thanks everyone. Yep, thanks.
yeah,
everyone.
thanks. All right, thanks guys, and enjoy your day. All the best, and I'll talk to you again. Thanks.
Yep, thanks.